Pete Hegseth is the guy. And now thousands of combat veterans, SEALs, and supporters, they're putting their name on a list agreeing with me. Over 100 vets signing up to march in support of Pete in D.C., and some of them came all the way down here to New York because they're willing to put their name on it, and that's what team guys do. We got fellow Navy SEALs Bill Brown, who's the man behind this project, also the swim that we do every year. All right, Jason Redmond, also Joe Masalta, and a few other military vets. Jason Logren, Joe Masalta, Brendan Duffy, Joe Palermo, Scott Grady, Tim Awaljabai? Joby. Okay, I was close. You know, I don't read too good. All right. So, Bill, you put this whole thing together. You've got massive support, and guys are willing to go down there and march in favor of Pete Hegseth, and you still have holdouts like Joni Ernst?
Well, you know what? We're sending a signal. It's time to do the right thing. It's time to follow Trump's leadership. Mm-hmm. We, the people, voted for a change of course of direction. Trump has set up his cabinet for that. People are going to come, have the courage, have the vision to change things that need to get changed, like the military, like the Pentagon. You look at what the chaotic, shameful withdrawal in Afghanistan, billions of dollars of military
trillions.
Trillions.
Yeah.
If that's not proof positive example that we need new leadership, there's nothing else that is.
Yeah. But Jason, I mean, like, look, you and I, we did a platoon together. We were over in Iraq together at the same time. I mean, this is a guy who's been on the ground, who understands war fighting. We haven't really had that. I mean, like, we've had a bunch of flag officers, we've had a bunch of politicians in suits, but we haven't had a war fighter in there in I don't know how long, outside of Mattis for a few years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Mattis would have been the last one, but obviously, once again, and Mattis, I have tremendous respect for General Mattis, but I would also say that once you become a flag officer, you fall under the political machine. You're tied to the military-industrial complex, all these different things. The military, in my opinion, has lost its way. It is about war fighting. It is about how do we build a group of amazing individuals like this who have the ability to defend the homeland, take the fight to the enemy, and build a military that has strength, that is a deterrent to our enemies. Pete's about that. Pete understands that. He is about, we got to get away from the individual. We need to focus on building back our military as a strong organization, a guy that's had boots on the ground. There are a lot of people that want to say, well, Pete's never run an organization this big. Pete's smart enough to understand I'm going to rely on the people who can help build this, help make it better, help grow this military. But at the same time, he's not going to tolerate us moving down roads we shouldn't be going.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too, is, you know, you and I were talking about this before, where you have a bunch of people that have no experience in anything and no success in anything, but yet they're crapping on Pete Hegseth for not running an organization?
Yeah, it sounds like your typical stigma of any veteran stepping into a leadership role. These same stigmas that everyone tries to tell us that we no longer should be talking about, that veterans are not in this box of drinkers and people who enjoy having a great time and are physically fit guys like us standing here. It is correct, but nonetheless, it shouldn't prevent any of us from expanding our own horizons and taking on positions like what Pete is going to take on.
Sure. Yeah, that's the other thing, Jason, is like, you know, drinking and stuff like that. That's their biggest hit on this, guys. Oh, he had a couple beers, you know, we don't really like that. I mean, like, I don't know any combat vets who don't drink. I mean, you had a company for it.
I do, and I mean, for anybody out there, any of our veterans, obviously, it is a double-edged sword. There are some that it takes you down a dark path. For others, it's an amazing opportunity for us to socialize. But I will tell you this, there are all these people that want to hammer Pete when he was the head of Concerned Veterans for America. I was on that tour. I spent weeks with Pete. I did not see any of the things that people are saying. I saw a guy that led, who represented our country, who brought us together. And that's what we need. We need that within the Department of Defense, somebody that's going to lead us forward. So, you know, if you got a name, come out. Otherwise, it's time to put forth Pete in this office to make our country and our military better again.
But there's a bunch of anonymous sources from Fox News and from other places that are saying, oh, we're going to stay anonymous because we don't want to have any type of association. We don't want it to backfire on us, because I've always said he's going to get through. Now it looks like he's going to get through. These anonymous sources aren't coming out. I mean, you guys are putting your name on it.
Look, personally, when you're being attacked like Pete is, it's because he's a threat to the establishment. Pete is not a part of the establishment, nor is he tied to the military-industrial complex that gets wealthy off of these endless wars. We need to stop politicizing the military. We need to cease the endless wars. President Trump has ran on that. Pete knows that. We've got to get rid of what's dividing internally the military with the woke policies. And we need to go back to a meritocracy. And Pete, being rank and file, who's been downrange, will make sure that every single buddy that's serving in our military is honored and has integrity and is treated with dignity.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of leader we need in Pete Hegseth.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and the other thing too, I mean, Jason, you're no secret. You've been like out in the front of veterans issues, DOD issues. I mean, you took a round to the face and your arm. There's few people who's given as much as you. You obviously got a new company that gives back to all these things. I mean, like, how much does it mean to see, people like yourself having a front seat to this?
Well, that's what this country was built on. We the people. And that's how it should be. I am tired of high-level politicians telling people what they think they need. America spoke. America spoke in that election. The people that Trump's putting in place are disruptors, and we need disruptors. I feel like our political system is broken. It's time to bring back people who have had boots on the ground. Pete Hegseth emphasizes that. Yeah. And I look forward to us responsibly enjoying a beverage and raising a glass in honor of other patriots with Patriot Seltzer for you.
Yeah, and proceeds go back. So
that's right. 5% of proceeds from Patriot Seltzer go back to support great organizations that take care of our veterans, law enforcement, first responders. We're excited to get it out there. You can find it.
Yeah, man. And also, we'll make sure we crack one with Pete Hegseth, too.
Amen.
All right, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys coming all the way in here. I really do. Thank you so much. All right, keep it right here, folks. We'll be back in just 1 second.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.